Hello friends, my name is Vinod. Welcome to VR Technosoft. So in this video, I am going to discuss about merge statement. So I just took one small requirement on top of it, and I can show you how we can able to capture the inserted updated data. So while we are performing or while we are using the merge statement. So first, let me just give you a brief explanation about what is merge statement in SQL Server. So generally we'll do updates and deletes separate statements, right? So by using merge statement, we can able to do all the DML operations at a time. So for an example, like insert, update, delete, these three operations, if you need to perform in a one particular execution, so we can just go for the merge statement. This is the basic information about the merge statement. And so what is the exact requirement I have taken in this video is, for an example, the client has given every day some files. Let's say I have taken some CSV file, and they are sending the product information, and that product information I'm loading into my staging table, and from the staging I'm transforming into my transactional table. So while transforming, I'm not just transforming directly by using the merge statement. I'm just checking whether that record is existing in the destination or not. And if it is existing, maybe I'll update based upon some requirement. And if it is not matched, I'll just go and insert it as a new record. Generally, we'll do this kind of things in the by using the lookup transformation. So we'll separate matched and unmatched records, and then we'll try to insert or update based upon the conditions. The same thing we can also do it by using the merge statement. So the best thing in the merge statement is, so when you do these inserts and updates, and if I want to know what updates are happening, what inserts are happening, so we can just capture that information. So by using some of the tables called magic tables, and we'll just see how we can able to achieve that. Yeah. So just for task purpose, I just took one of the table information, that is product. So let me show you this. This is the CSV file, and I do have, okay, I do have the product. Okay, it is got merged into one particular column. Okay, so let me create one more sheet here, or one more file by using the tables. So I'll just write select production dot, and I'll just need only the product ID and then name. The third one will be like, I need the standard cost or the list price cost, so whatever it is. So when I'm querying this, I have almost like 504 records are there. I'll just save this file into maybe CSV or any TXT file, whatever it is. So you can able to just select it and give a name for that. So as it is a product information, just save it as product information, and it is a tab delimiter. So which means each and every value, it is separated with a tab. So now let me go with and see the file, what exactly it contains. So it contains the product ID and product name and cost as well. So I just want to give the column names as well here. One is product ID. So without column names also we can read. Yeah, we can do one thing. So since in all of the videos we are trying to retrieve by using the headers, let's not keep the column names here, and we'll just go and see how we can able to achieve this. So right click, I'll go with the new connection, that is flag file connection, as it is a CSV or tab delimiter file, and I'm just selecting it. So let's go to documents and the file, and let's go to columns. Now if you see here, it has been defaultly selected first row as a columns, because in the general, so we have checked in this option, so that is why that row it is considering as a column. So because we have checked in this option, right? Now what we need to do is, if there is no headers in the file, you have to uncheck this. Then when you go to columns, so defaultly the SSIS will consider it as a field 1, field 2, field 3, or column 0, column 1, and column 2. Then all the rest of the rows, so you will have. Now if you see here, column delimiter, automatically it has been chosen as a tab delimiter. So let's go to column 0. So if you want to rename these column names, yes, obviously we can able to rename based upon the destination, and we can able to just map it. So however we want, we can able to just do that. Yeah? So as there is less columns here, I don't want to rename, just we can try directly go and map it. And let's click on OK. And I'll create a destination connection for storing the data into a staging table. And before creating the package, let's make sure the table has to be there. So now what I will do is I'll just go for select star into option. So same select statement into a new table I'll just take. So let's say product underscore staging table. And I don't want to send any data into it because I want to do that from my exercise package. I'll just transfer only the structure and then as well as the data types, and I don't want to dump the data here. So I have used the select star into option here, and let me do select star from my table name. And if you see, there are only 3 columns in it, and I just want to see what is the data types of it. So we can just do Control Alt F1, and we can able to see what is the data. So one is int and name and money. So generally in the staging area, we'll just make sure all the table structure will be characters. So I'll just go and alter it by using alter statement. So alter table, my table name, and then alter my column. My column name is product ID. Then I'll just put it as varchar of 100. Yep. And I'll also alter all other columns as well. So by using single alter, we can able to alter only one column in SQL Server. That is the limitation which we have. And let me alter all other columns as well. And this is done. And standard cost. Now, before just altering, let me create one more table, that is the final destination table, by using the same table, by using the staging. But for the destination table, I just make sure that I should have the same data type whatever we have on the earlier table. So let me do select star into product underscore destination. And anyway, in this we don't have any data as of now, so let's keep select star into, no need to go for select top 0 here. Then we can able to just alter this table by using the alter statement. Now okay, so there is some problem here. So identity column product ID must be data type int and begin small int. Okay, so as this product ID is an integer data type, so we cannot able to so we cannot able to change the structure of this one. Yeah, that's fine. So what we can do is we can able to drop this table structure. Maybe we'll recreate as per our requirement, then we'll see. Yeah. So let me do one thing. Let me drop these tables. These kind of errors so we'll be facing. So whenever we are creating any tables in the task level, and if you're using the tables from the existing one, definitely we will be facing these kind of things. So that's fine. So we'll just go on to create a new tables by using create statement. I'm just dropping the other table called the destination product underscore destination. So I'll just okay. So it is saying that it is not existing. Maybe the table name is different. Let's go and check that. So this is how you can able to go and fastly check. So what exactly it has been written. What is the exact table name? So this is the table name. Just drag and drop. So maybe there is a spelling mistake. I think it is fine, but let's see. Yeah, it has been dropped. Now we'll just go and create manually by using create statement. Create table. I'll go with three columns: product ID, varchar of 100, then product name, varchar of again 100, then product cost, sorry, varchar of 100. Now I'll also go and create another table, that is destination. I'll just make sure these data types are different here. So it is integer and it is varchar, and the cost, let's make it. Yeah. So we'll just go and create this. Just take out all these scripts as I don't want this. Now we'll just go and create the package to load the data from source to destination, that is staging. So now I need the exercise toolbox. So right click in the control panel and you can get the toolbox there and go for data flow task. So as we are just loading the data from the source file to staging, so I just mentioned here it as load, and let's take out the source. So my source is CSV here. So let's go and select flat file connection, and you know to configure. And yeah, obviously we don't need to change the data types here because the staging table is contains the same varchar data types, and even CSV also read the data as characters in SSIS level. So no data conversion is required. So directly we can go for the destination. Now done. So now we'll just go and configure the mappings and all. So let me select the stable, that is staging, product underscore staging, go to mappings. Now you can see here we have column 0, column 1, column 2. So as there is a change in the column names, so it is not mapped automatically, so we need to go and map it. Now this is done. So it is saying that column cannot be processed because more than one code page. Okay, so yeah, this kind of errors is very important. So when we are doing the task, so what exactly it is saying is, so it is not able to convert because there is a more than one code page is having. So which means when you go to the source files, so when you can see the code page is like 6500 ut I8 something. So as the SSIS use the English language, that is defaultly 1252. So we just need to change that to 1252 here. So 1252. So let me check where exactly it is. Yeah, here it is. So you just need to make sure that whenever you're dealing with CSVs or text files and all, make sure this code page is like always 1252. As most probably we'll be dealing the projects in English language, so you need to do that. And once again, you just go and configure this. Now this error is gone. Yeah. So about the errors, I'll try to take one another video regarding SQL errors and SSIS errors and even SSRS errors also. That is kind of a separate playlist. So I'll just create a one more video for that. Yeah. So now what I will do is we'll just simply load this data, and then we can go for the merge. So merge is nothing but merging from source table to destination table. Now the source here is for us it is staging table, and the destination is our destination table here. Yeah. So now let me take out this table here, select star from my staging, and also select star from my destination table. As of now, I loaded the staging table. Let me show you. Yeah, here are the data. So I have totally 504 rows over here. Now without using lookup, we can also merge the data by using merge statement. Let me write what is this merge statement here. So now just consider this is our source and this is our destination. Now from the source we need to dump the data into destination. Now what is the merge statement here exactly will do is, so merge where we need to match into the destination table, right? So we need to just put the destination table over here, and we can use just a, alias table name, over here, because we are performing here a on condition. That's why. And using we are dumping based upon the source table, right? So you can just keep the source table here. So merge into the destination table using source table, and even for source also you just put S. Now here we need to provide a key column to identify. So because in match statement, as I said in the initial time, so we can perform insert, updates and all. So that will be based upon a key column. So it can be a single key column, or it can be a multiple key columns. As we are doing in the lookups, similar kind of things here also. So at least one key column is required. So here our key column is product ID. Yeah. So there is one limitation in merge statement. Whenever you are having duplicate key values in your key column, then we cannot perform the merge statement. So even lookup also. So make sure that this is very important point. So when you are writing the merge statement, so the key column value should be always distinct. Yeah. So if you want, you can just put a duplicate value in it and try to perform. It will throw an error. So if you have some time, so we'll do that as well. So now on, so we need to put the key column to check whether it is a matched or unmatched. I'll just go with product ID equals to, so s dot product ID. And as we have only one key column, so we just put only one condition. So if you need multiple conditions, you just put and keep all other conditions whatever you want. But make sure that there should be a distinct values in between all the conditions whatever you have kept. Now, so if it is matched, so there are conditions like matched and unmatched and all. So here if it is matched, so which means the record between the source and destination, if it is exactly matched, I just need to check it will be a duplicate record generally. And the client is saying that if it is exactly matched, so which means there is a change in the product cost. Now what I need to do is, so whatever the new cost he has given, so we need to go and just update it. So that is what exactly we need to do. So when it is matched, what exactly we need to do is, so then we need to update. So generally we'll write update statement like this, right? So update the table name and set the column name equals to new value. But in the case of merge statement, so we will not put this table name here, because so the merge statement knows it in which table it has to merge. So which means in which table it has to update. So you no need to specify that table name here. Even though if you specify, it will throw an error. It is not required. Yeah. So when matched, so I need to update which column. So the client is said that product cost might be changed. So definitely, so we need to go and update this column. So I'll just this column, product cost column, that in the destination, right, which means D, right? So product cost column from the staging table, because in the source file itself he will go and just change, right? So we'll just go and just change this one. So s dot product cost. So using source column, so we'll just go and update the destination column if it is matched case. Yeah. So now, so here we just need to put set statement, that is why it is throwing an error. So no table is required here, just we need to put the set and destination column equals to source column. Yeah. And then we can able to update multiple columns as well here. So you can put, if there is a change in the product name also, we can just put product name equals to s dot product name, that is also fine. Yeah. So we can update more than one column. Now when not matched, so if it is not matched, so which means between the source and the destination, if the product IDs are not matched, so which means it's a new product which is incoming into the source file. Also it is considered as a new record. So we just go and insert that particular record into your destination. That is what exactly means if it is a not matched record. So now what we will do is, when not matched case, then insert. So again here you don't need to keep the table name. So when you write insert statement, insert into table name values, then we'll put all the values out there. Here also you no need to keep the table name. Insert, you directly put the values here, and then so whatever the columns you want to insert into the this is the destination, and then sorry, before insert we need to keep the destination columns, and using which column we are going to dump that source columns. After the values we need to keep it over here. So I'll just make it over here, product name, comma, so then product cost. So you no need to keep here the source sorry, destination table name here, like a d dot p dot pid p name p cost and all. If you mention also, nothing will happen, so it will exclude. So here, but for the source it is required. So s dot product id, comma, s dot product name, comma, s dot the product cost. Yeah. So now we'll just go and if you are, when you execute this one, so it can just merge the data from source to destination. And for a merge statement, the semicolon is always must and should. So now you can perform only one statement at a time using a merge statement, or we can perform more than one statement, which means simply you can update and simply you can insert, or we can also perform two at a time. We can also perform delete operation as well if we required. Yeah, but whatever operations you are performing, how many statements you are taking, so at last you have to terminate with the semicolon. It is mandatory in case of merge statement. Yeah. So as we have written two cases here, one when is matched and mismatched. So at the end of this mismatched case, so you need to put the semicolon here. Yeah. So let me go and merge this data, and we'll see what exactly is happening. So now 504 rows are affected. Now it is not showing what and all the data has been inserted or updated into the table. So just it shows 504 rows are required. So for the first execution, it is not required because all the records are mismatched, because in the destination we don't have any data. So it will go and sits under second case, that is not matched, and it just insert the 504 rows into the table. So we'll just go and see. So here I have almost like 504 rows in my destination. Now the requirement come into the picture. So now what I am going to do over here is, for an example, in my source, the client is giving, let's say I'll just not go for many so more rows here. Let me delete everything here. So whatever 504 rows are there. Now what I will do is, I'll just put three records, whatever it is there earlier. I'll just go and change these values. For an example, here the cost is 10.0 and 20.0. So basically I'm updating the cost for the existing records. Yeah. So now we'll see what exactly will happen. Yeah. So when you go and run this, so now once again, so what you need to do is, so we'll just truncate this particular staging table, because again there should be duplications will be there in the staging area. So let me truncate and we'll just go and reinsert it, or we can able to delete from table name. I just deleted everything, but still my data will be there in destination. Yeah. So now I have three rows updated in my source table or source file, and we'll just run this and we'll see. So now the data will be only three rows into my staging. Yeah. So only three rows. Now you can see here, when you run your staging table, I do have only three rows with updated these values, right? Now when I'm, so now we can keep this merge statement in your SSIS package also to make it automate. Okay, just for time being, I'm just showing in a SQL Server level, yeah, to understand in a better way. So now when you execute this one, now what it will do is, based upon this key column PID equals to SID, now it will check whether it is a matching or mismatch. So as my, let me comment out this update. Now when I'm executing this one, and even my source table or the staging table both. So when you see the matching record between source and destination is three records, 1, 2, 3. Here also 1, 2, 3. Now it is comes under match records. There are 3 records are matched. Now when it is updating these 3 records based upon the ID, it will go and update automatically because there is a join here. Correct. Now whenever it is updating, so now as of now only 504 rows are there. I'll be able to easily come to know, okay, what has been changed. Yeah, simply we can just compare the source and the destination table, and we can able to again easily come to know. Again, there is an extra operation which you need to perform, like compare between these 2 tables, either writing by using subquery or by using a left join, right join, anything you can use, and simply we can get the comparison values, and then we can easily see the output. But instead of that, if for an example, in my destination I have crores of records. Now in my source level, even they are passing almost like 1 lakh records. Some of the records are maybe the matched records for 50,000, another 50,000 is almost like the new records. Now when you perform the join between or merge between the source and destination, out of 1 lakh rows, one out of 1 million rows, so 1 lakh will get executed, right? Because 50,000 are new, 50,000 are the existing records. Now how will you come to know which are and all records are newly inserted and which are and all getting updated? We cannot go and like scroll down each and every row, and we cannot check it, right? Because there are almost like 1 million or 1 crore records are there, so it is very difficult to identify which records are inserted and which records are updated. Yeah. So now in this case, what exactly we can able to do is, so when you perform this merge statement, for an example, now 3 rows are updated, right? Now I just want to know, so what has been updated. Yeah. So now what you can do is, by using the magic tables in SQL Server, we can just identify those. Yeah. So what you can do is simply just remove your semicolon. Now I'll just use one property here, that is output, which means whatever it is getting executed, the output results set, I'm just taking out by using the output keyword. And there is one more property called dollar action property. So this is very important. So what this dollar action property will do is, it will just say whether it is inserted or whether it is deleted or whether it is updated. So all kind of actions it will give in a particular new column. So I'll just rename it. I'll just give a name for this one. Or I don't think so it is required. Already it has been taken the column name as action property only. You don't need to provide any alias column for that. Now, along with this column, I also required what has been inserted and what has been the updated, right? So as we have 2 magic tables here, the inserted and deleted. So by using that tables, we can simply get the data. Yeah. So what I can do is, we'll just put inserted dot star. So which means, so if I perform this operation, when it will go to not matched records, everything will get inserted, right? So I need all the columns here. So I don't know which columns we are inserting. So we just need all the columns. So that's why I'm keeping here inserted dot star. So whatever staging the destination table structure we have, the same structure will get created for inserted and as well as deleted tables as well. So now I also require, when you perform update generally in SQL Server, it is not exactly update, it is just deleting the old row and reinserting the a new row with the updated value. So now what I will do is, I'll just get the deleted data from deleted magic table, and I required all the columns here again. Yeah. So I just put deleted dot star. Now at last we can put a semicolon here, because semicolon is always mandatory. So now we'll just see. So for our requirement, 3 rows are getting updated, right? Now we'll see whether these 3 rows will get into the output or not. So earlier it is showing 504 rows are affected, 304 rows are affected, 3 rows are affected, something like that. Now we'll exactly see what records are updated. Yeah. So now we'll just go and execute this. Now if you see, it is performing update here. So now whatever operation it has been performed, so the dollar action is saying that there is an update is happening between the source and the destination, and this is the destination table, because the inserted is giving 3 columns and even your deleted also having the same structure, right? It is also giving this same. So whenever we are performing update, so let me put it over here. So whenever you are performing update, it will delete the old record. What is the old record? We have the same product name, product ID, product cost, but the cost is 0. This is the old record, correct? So the deleted data is there in the deleted magic table. So from there it has been retrieved. Yeah, this is been deleted. Now what in update case also it will do one more operation, that is insert, reinsert the record updated value. So now it reinserts one more record and with the updated value, that is 10, 20 and 35. So that has been saved in the inserted magic table. So now, so so I'm giving an example, right? So there are 1 crore of records, and if I'm updating a particular 3 records or 10 records or 1 lakh records, I just want to see whether it is updation or insertion, or whether really those records are updated or deleted or inserted. So by using this operation, by using this dollar action property and using these magic tables, we can just see so what exactly is happening. This is kind of a debugging, because when you simply execute this statement, so maybe it may showing that there are some rows are affected. uh, for an example, it is giving 100 rows are affected, yeah, but really it should update more than 100 rows. That point of time, we cannot go and check each and every row between your source and destination, right? So when you go for this operation, we can simply check what has been changed and what is the action it is performing, all those steps here. Yeah. Now, for an example, if I want to save this information in a table, what else we have to do? So what you have to do is you have to create a temporary table, or you can create a physical table, okay, with the same structure whatever we have written, like dollar action and the column names. But make sure that when you create a table, see, for inserted also there are same column names, and even for deleted also there are same column names. So when you are creating a new table, so to store this information what exactly has been inserted or deleted, so just keep the column names like dollar action, p underscore some I, p name underscore I, p cost underscore I. So which means these are all belongs to inserted, and pid underscore d, p name underscore d, p cost underscore d. So these columns are related to the deleted table. Yeah, that is how we can able to represent. Yeah. So now we'll just go on to create those table. Now once you create those table, how we can able to use that table over here is just put insert, so into the table name, let's say new table. So now what will happen is, what will happen is when you execute this command, instead of storing this data, or instead of showing this data here, it will just stores in a new table. Yeah, so that we can able to just see that data, so in a particular point of time. Yeah, so just we'll create a table here, new table for example, and just put all the columns action, which is varchar of 100, and let me put pid underscore I, and which is varchar or integer whatever it is, and then name underscore I, and this is varchar, and then p cost, which is float, and so let me put underscore I here, and then again pid underscore, let me copy and paste it over here, but we'll just rename it. Yeah, so here I'll just put pid, as we cannot keep the same column names. I'll just make sure that those are belongs to this one, inserted and deleted. Now let's also, I require to get date as well. So get date, date, let me put date time as well, and let me create a table. We can also put image. So the naming convention is always it should be meaningful, so that we can able to identify easily. So now see, there are almost like in this table we have 1 3 3 6 7, so there are 8 columns are there. But when you see here, from these magic tables we are getting 6, and action property is 7. we require one more column, that is get date. You just put get date over here, so that the final value will get inserted into this table. Yeah. So we'll see. So now again, we just need to go and update some values in the table. Yeah, either we can run the package, or we can just simply insert into your table, or you can just update also. We'll just do the updates or inserts in this table. So let me do one thing. Let me insert a record here. Insert into a values. So I'll just go and insert a new record, that is some thousand something, and then I'll just go with some product name, let's say so, and some cost as well, some 100 rupees, and we'll also just try to change this value for all other products as well. Update table name. Okay. So here, wherever my product ID is 123, I'll just put the same cost here. For an example, 100 or 200 rupees, where product ID not equals to 1000. So apart from these, for all other things, so we just updated the cost. So which means, so these three are matching records between the product ID, but this one is unmatched. So it has to insert, and these things needs to be updated. Yeah. So now we'll just see whether it will get captured or not in this table. So now I'm performing an update. I'm performing a merge, and we'll just go and see to the table whether we can able to get this data into the table. So now you can see new record has been inserted. So when it is inserting, it will be there only in inserted, right? Not in the deleted. So for deleted and all, it just keeps nulls. So when you perform delete operation by using merge, and that point of time, inserted will be null and deleted will be having some information. And even again, see this updated has been happened. Now this is the old records, not zero, because already we updated, and this is the new record. It also given the timing as well. Yeah. So this is where we can able to easily identify what has been inserted or updated, deleted when you are performing this merge operation. Yeah. And I just want to show you on one more thing, like duplication. Let me insert one more record with a duplicated value with same thing, and we'll see so what exactly will happen when you perform a merge. Yeah. So now it is saying that the merge statement attempted update or delete the same row more than once. This happens a target row mission more than one source row. So the merge statement cannot update delete the same row of the target table multiple times. So yeah, so it is saying that, so there is a duplication record in the destination table, so you cannot able to update or insert more than one time by using a merge statement. Yeah, this is what I referred initial times. So when you have a duplication in these particular IDs, whatever you are keeping in ARM class, so we cannot perform the merge statement. It should have always distinct records. Yeah, so if it is a duplicate, it cannot update it actually. So because it may have the same value, it may have a different value on them. So that's why make sure that there should be a distinct records over there. So in the key columns always. Yeah. So this is one of the very important concepts when you're performing the merging between the source and destination. So please try to use this operation, like getting the action, getting the information, the inserted, deleted, or updated information into another new table by using this dollar action property and magic table, so that our life will be very easier to debug the process and all. Yeah. So thank you for watching my video. So stay tuned for more videos.